What's up, creative community? Once again, this is Lorenzo from the Coach MC Studio, and this is the place where we'll help you actors, performers, entertainers, creators to really shape unique behavior deliveries, to really express the best product that you got inside of yourself, to improve your artistic abilities actually, and to stand out in the audition room as a remarkable performer every time we get called to action. With this video today, we're gonna continue the series that we kicked off last week, the acting alphabet. We're gonna examine a different letter from the alphabet and disclose the critical mass that is contained in that letter. Whether that's for our acting purposes, for our career purposes, or whether it's just to improve a little bit our performance, every letter contains a special gift. Last week, we of course started off with the letter A, and one of the suggestions from our followers was to kind of cover the business aspect with the letter B. Let's jump right into it and let's see what's cooking. I've been there, I've done that, I get it. We're artists, and as such, we just want to enjoy our freedom. We just want to be creative. We would just want to be passionate. We just want to sit on our Liberty Chopper, traveling down Freedom Road, Route 66 towards the horizon, and just enjoy our life. And just, throwing out a couple of creative ideas throughout the day. People are picking them up, converting them in revenue, just giving us our fair share, and that's it. We don't need to deal with business, with accountants, with finance, with money and all that, right? That's just sticky new world order stuff. We are butterflies, right? We need to spread our wings and fly towards the sky. And that's how life should be, except it's not reality. And eventually, actors, performers, entertainers, our freedom highway will hit an intersection where, the road that crosses is the business road. And that business road needs to be observed. We need to understand the traffic rules here, the violations, the restrictions, the laws, the rules, the orders, whatever this road contains, it needs to be understood, because otherwise we will crash and not work with each other. It's a joint venture, if you will. And the sooner we understand the business side of things, the better we can travel our road to freedom, towards success, towards earning those accolades, without neglecting that very important part that is an integral part of the business. Out of personal experience here, I can tell you, I started acting at a very young age. So I kind of grew up naturally and organically in entertainment industry. And I've always neglected the business aspect of this beautiful craft. I always said, yeah, leave it up to my accountant, leave it up to my management, leave it up to my agent, do whatever, right? I was always giving away the responsibility over my arts, over my income, over my revenue, over my career to someone else. And how are these people supposed to know what I really want if I don't define it for myself? If I don't know the game I'm in? If I don't know the rules to observe? If I don't know my market share, my market value, and what I have to put into this business in order to sustain my lifestyle, in order to become acknowledged throughout my art without losing my dignity and my integrity as a human being. Because this is what we're ultimately talking about. Everything has a price. We need to fuel up our tank. We need to stay consistent. We need to absorb and to give out the very best that we have. And we can only do that if we sustain this organism. Maybe we need another side hustle. Maybe we need another income to support our lifestyle in order to wait for that moment where we start booking more and more roles, where we get more and more regular jobs throughout the year. All these things need to be earned, need to be understood. So it makes no sense to kind of push the business aspect away from us because we're artists. It actually enforces its core. It actually supports our art even more. And I had to learn this the hard way, because believe me, the more I was giving responsibility to other people about my career choice, about my life, about the revenue I was making, the less money I was making, the more I was working, and the more I had to kind of patch up all the mistakes from all the people who weren't getting what I was really aiming at. And I really had to kind of invest even more energy afterwards, study more and getting more into the business, because I had to compensate the mistakes of other people, because I had to kind of regain part of my career, and to regain control I had to pull the strings even tighter to my system. And so by getting educated so late about what this business means, and that we are actually in the business and it's not about art, I really lost a couple of years of my career that I could have invested in becoming a better actor or booking better roles. Instead, I had to focus on how to clean up the mess that I was leaving, because I was always neglecting the business aspect of things. What I'm trying to say here is, open up your journal, open up your calendar, look at your year. How many auditions you need to attend? How many headshots do you need to take? How many different photographers do you need to check out? How many times times do you need to travel across town during the month to go to all of your castings? What is your lifestyle looking like? Do you need a side hustle? Do you need 2 side hustles? What is your apartment costing you? All these things need to be put down. You need to understand, wow, this costs a lot of money, but also, wow, I'm able to support all that. I'm able to come up with this. Once you put it on paper, once you kind of deciphered all the costs, once you looked behind the curtain, once you breaking down the necessities, the values, the market share, all these business related things, you understand that no, you're not an observer. You are in the middle of the operation. You are the scope of the operation. You are the nucleus of this gear that kind of, translates into traction to the outer gear, who kind of, runs the whole clockwork, this whole mechanism, this modern time industry that you are an essential part of. You're one of the founding gears, my friend. You're inside of this business. You're part of the business. Actually, the business revolves around you, not the other way around. And once you understand that, it's easier for you to negotiate. It's easier for you to establish what you're worth on a daily basis, what you want in order to stand in front of the camera and to really perform in a remarkable way. It's easier for you to understand, all right, I have to pay for the workshop, I have to pay for the intensive, I have to pay for the acting coach, I have to pay for the headshot, I have to pay for the gas, I have to pay for the apartment, I have to pay for all those things. And guess who's coming up with all that money? Your art does. Isn't that beautiful to understand that no, you're not just an artist traveling down that highway of freedom and having fun, yoo-hoo, playing Easy Rider. No, you're the one who's also building that chopper, fueling out that chopper and maintaining that chopper, fixing the gears and everything else and all the nuts and bolts. And you're putting this mechanism together and you are maneuvering it safely towards success with all the other things that you have to take into accountability that will determine whether or not how fast, how safe, and how secure and how effective you get there. If you neglect your business side too much and you lose sight of all the expenses and the finance part of this, all of a sudden you might end up in a dead end where you probably are desperate. And so when you're desperate, whether you lose touch with your art or all of a sudden you're so desperate that you're willing to sacrifice your dignity over just to make a quick buck here and there so then you can support your art again. And then all of a sudden you start hating your art because this is the reason why you're sacrificing your dignity. And you can prevent all this by just planning it a bit more safely, a bit more secure. And it doesn't hurt your art. It doesn't infest your creativity. It doesn't infect in a negative way the ultimate essence of what you are actually made of and the origin of your beautiful well that kind of, is eruptive and creative and genius and disruptive and all that. That all will maintain. Actually, it will preserve way longer if you construct and solidify a fortress around it. So it's business and operation, it's ratio and mathematics, it's negotiation and strategy and tactics. And in the inside, it's like Atlantis. You have creation, you have beauty, you have that source code, you have that beautiful art, that craftsmanship that really distinguishes you, from your competitors. And this is how both streets, how both roads kind of connect, how they join each other. Even though they are dramatically different, they both can work in a positive way to let you gain that momentum that you need in order to get regularly booked throughout the year, to make a satisfying revenue, to have that, stable, more or less type of income. So you're not coming across as a desperate actor whenever you get called to action, right? You don't come across as a needy person that needs the fast buck, that needs the money and is willing to accept whatever job, even if it hurts our dignity and our, humanity, in order to kind of, make ends meet. No, that's not the way we want to operate. We're not desperate losers in search for one opportunity, for one last famous shot. If you are out for that moonshot, for that God candle, like we call it in trading business, then you always are out for fortune, for luck, for destiny, for all those things that you can't control, who are outside of our boundaries, who are not really inside of that gear. They are ethereal. They are not real. They're not tangible. They are quite metaphysical, actually. And you don't want to, put your life on a bet over things that you can't control, that you don't have any knowledge of, and that are just outside of your reach. You want to put them into your reach, into your basket, into your position where you are in the middle of things, where you can operate as quickly, as effective, and as authentic as possible without sacrificing too much of your humanity. So when business and art come together, there is the artist that can blossom up in the middle. Don't sacrifice your humanity just for that vague sense of momentum, right? For that sense of instantaneous liberty and gratification and validation. No. We're here on the long run. This is a marathon. It's not a sprint. So you need to do your homework. And when you lay those strong fundamentals and you have a certain understanding, then you can blossom up. Then you can be creative. Then you can throw out those chunks of creativity and let people collect them and convert them into revenue. Then it's no problem. And you won't have a bad conscience in the process. You have a better understanding of your value, of the valor that you are proposing to your audience. And therefore, the people around you that are responsible for the industry will also feel more comfortable being around such a professional, because you know exactly, yes, he's an artist. Yes, he is, unpredictable. Yes, she is kind of crazy and spontaneous and disruptive, but she knows her business. She knows where she's coming from. She knows where she's in. So she has a sort of accountability. So I can trust her. And that, of course, also soothes and tranquilizes the ones in charge, the one who are, hiring you. And so it's a give and take in the end of the day. And it's also a very satisfying feeling to know exactly, okay, there are no blind spots anymore in my business. I have control over this. I have control over operations, over my business, over my art, and ultimately over my life. And if you like this video, make sure to subscribe if you haven't so far. Leave a comment in the comment section below what the next acting alphabet should be all about. It's the letter C. So come up with a nice idea and we will talk about it. I hope you liked and enjoyed this content. Also visit me on my other social media platforms such as Twitter, Instagram, and of course on TikTok. If you have any other questions, any further comments, if you want to, maybe dedicate some time to creating a great show reel, a nice portfolio, or you want to work on your speech patterns, whatever it is, contact me through my website. It's thecoachmc.studio. Let's find out on a free trial class if we're a great match for each other. If that's the case, we can start a brand new adventure and travel down on our Liberty Chopper, the highway of freedom. See you there. Now you're ready to perform.